Alright, here we go. Welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Boaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today we got some stuff. We've got Doomfist finally coming to Overwatch. We got Assassin's Creed anime announced. We got XCOM 2 Skirmisher officially revealed. We got some Monster Hunter gameplay walkthrough. And then we got Hearthstone expansion announced. But before we get into that, let's talk about what we played this week. So 2 games I played. I finished Cabin in the Woods. Cabin in the Woods. No, that's a movie. I finished Night in the Woods. It's a very good movie. It's an awesome movie. But I finished Night in the Woods, which is a really good game. I really did enjoy it. It probably has some of the best writing so far that I've played this year, and has probably one of my favorite characters. I love Greg. Greg is this fox that wears a leather jacket, and he is absolutely fantastic. And the only thing is that I guess when I realized, oh, okay, we're at the end of the game, you know, like, you know, when you're approaching the end, there are still a couple of questions that the game doesn't really give you answers to, you know, like I'm like, well, what does the tooth mean, or what's up with the janitor and his he's kind of acting like a god, and, you know, stuff like that, and it makes you kind of scratch your head and go, what did this mean? What did this mean? And the game doesn't really give you all the answers. You have to kind of like think about it afterwards, which I'm perfectly fine with. But part of me was like, I wanted like somebody to just say what that meant, you know, sometimes. But the game was still really good, and definitely recommend it if you are into those types of games. The only problem I had with the game overall is that there were some really emotional, well-written scenes in the game. But the problem I had with it is that due to the art style, the character models can't exactly emote. You know, it's hard for them. They do have some slightly different like states of emotion, but they're not. It's not as varied as some other games are. So, like. You think how, you know, when you're playing Persona and it's got like those different faces for different scenes?
Yeah.
There's a lot less of those cut-ins, I guess, for this game, and I feel like that's kind of a problem when the writing is. You feel like this scene the characters' faces should probably be more like this, and they're more just stationary. So it's a bit of a nitpick, but other than that, I think the game's great. The other game I played that is freaking awesome is Dead Cells. So this is a Metroidvania.
It's out? I thought it was still in...
Oh, no, it's in early access. I bought it in early access.
Oh, okay.
But I will say this. I can safely put it in the Darkest Dungeon category, in which this is early access, but not really. Like, the game runs smooth. It's very polished. It's got tons of stuff for you to interact with, and it's not a broken mess. So that's really solid. The game is just great. It's a good roguelike kind of game, and you die really fast. It reminds me of you know, think of like Binding of Isaac, where you die and you start a new run, you know. But certain
like Hotline Miami.
Yeah, kind of like that. Actually, it's kind of funny. There's a whole mechanic in which if you roll through doors, you can deal damage to enemies.
Hey, so it is like Hotline Miami.
It is kind of like, instead of guns, think swords and spells. And the game is a lot of fun. It just plays really well. It's really fast-paced. There's a lot of different weapons that you can do, a lot of cool combos. The game is really hard, so you will get your ass kicked, for sure. I also like that the game kind of promotes speedrunning, because there are time-locked doors in the game, in which... Like, if you get to this door 6 minutes after starting your playthrough, you can get through it and get a shit ton of, like, upgrades and items and money and stuff like that. But if you don't get there by 6 minutes, it will be locked forever. So it really promotes you to play the game really fast and get good. But definitely really good. They're adding new stuff like every couple of weeks, so I'm very excited to see when this game officially releases, because it is awesome. It is really good. But that's what I played this week. What about you, Fawaz?
Okay, so I pretty much went back to playing Gwent. Big patch hits, and
Nice.
I've just been experimenting, trying to find a trying to find a new deck to play, and the deck that I liked playing got nerfed, which kind of sucked because okay, so like the entire time I've been playing Gwent, almost every so like I've learned to just pick a top tier, right? Because what I've realized is that when you lose, at least I can't speak for anybody else, but me personally, when I lose while playing like a quote unquote bad deck and I lose to a really really powerful deck, I'll never blame myself, right? I'll always be like, oh, this deck is overpowered. I only lost because I'm playing this shit deck. Right. So eventually I was like, okay, I'm just going to craft the best deck in the game. And then I did that, and I still kept losing. So I was like, maybe I'm just bad. So,
yeah. See, that's the problem with that philosophy.
So I usually end up playing one of the strongest decks in the game because then it ensures that I can only ever blame myself when I lose. But the results of doing that is that every single time a new patch comes along, you're gonna have to find a new deck to play because your deck is one of the first decks that's going to get nerfed. So I was playing Consume Monsters, that got nerfed. Then I started playing Discard Skellige, that got nerfed. Then I started playing Spy Nilfgaard when open beta started, that got nerfed. But this time I was like, okay, you know what, I actually really like playing Spy Nilfgaard, so I'm just going to stick with it. And I stuck with it, and I was playing with it, and it was really fun. And then another patch came out, and it still got nerfed. And I was like, for the love of God!
Oh, that's the struggle. That is the struggle.
So yeah. Other than that, I started watching. This isn't really video game related. Well, this isn't really video game playing, but I started watching the Castlevania Netflix series.
Nice.
Yeah. I watched the first episode. It's not bad. The animation is pretty good. The writing's okay. Dracula's a little loquacious. Let's say he talks too much.
Isn't that kind of what Dracula kind of does, though, in those kind of games?
Oh, you see, I've never played...
I've never played a Castlevania game before. Yeah, Dracula likes to talk.
Oh, okay. They haven't introduced the Belmonts yet. Okay, they introduced the Belmont, but like literally at like the very end of the episode.
Right.
It's like so far I like it. The one criticism that I will give is that they've Dracula's the villain, right?
Right. Okay.
But by the end of the first episode, I found myself, I'm not going to say why, spoilers and all that fun stuff, but I found myself rooting for him over the humans in the episode. And I was like, I hope this changes before the end of the show because...
That's very interesting. But then again, but like honestly, that I'd have to think about it by watching it, but it's like, that's also kind of the sign of an interesting villain.
Yes,
when you kind of don't want the villain to lose.
Yeah. Yes. Like, but here's the thing. There's a difference between, I guess the example I always use is Amon from the Legend of Korra, who I think is one of the best villains in an animated cartoon ever. Or Mr. Freeze from Batman the Animated Series, right? You can see where they're coming from, but you don't really agree with their methods. And I guess at the same time, the same applies to Dracula. I'm dancing around spoilers right now.
Right.
But,
okay. Yeah. But
like,
no. I totally get what you mean. It's kind of like you could see like this, but honestly, I think that's a decent villain like archetype. It's just like you have the right idea, but your methods, ooh.
Yeah, and like I said, this only matters if I keep watching the show and I don't like the Belmonts, right?
Yeah, I can see it being bad if it's like at this, it's almost like why wasn't Dracula the main character, because I'm rooting for him more than like the heroes of the story, quote unquote. Yeah, but yeah. So that's pretty much I was watching. I pretty much watched that, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later in the podcast. But anyway, screw all of that. Let's get into our first bit of news. This is something that I am really excited for, and I have been clamoring for since open beta. No joke. Since open beta of Overwatch, I have been looking forward to this character, and he finally got revealed this week, and he is everything that I was hoping for. So Doomfist is finally revealed, and he's not voiced by Terry Crews. Thank the Lord. Like if I ever meet Jeff Kaplan, like I'm gonna get arrested because I'm just gonna hug him and kiss him on the cheek. Like straight up, I'm gonna end up in prison. Thank you.
I was like, oh my god, if I have to listen to Terry Crews trying to do a fake West African accent for the rest of my Overwatch career, it might not be a very long career. Like, so he's voiced by, I can't remember the dude's name, but the dude, he's not Nigerian, so like that kind of sucks. But I'm a glass is half full kind of guy, so I'm like, okay, sure. He's not Nigerian, but he's West African. He's from Sierra Leone, and it could have been worse. It could have been Terry Crews. Mm-hmm. But then on top of that, he's Nigerian. Like I thought he was going to be from Numbani. I had given up on us getting a Nigerian hero, so we finally got a Nigerian hero, and all that stuff is a Canadian, and we'll be all good.
What would be the Canadian Overwatch hero? Like just
they should have made a Canadian Overwatch hero. Sorry.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to imagine the Canadian Overwatch hero as just like a guy who shoots, like, he just throws maple syrup at people.
You see, actually, just as a quick digression, May really should have been the Canadian Overwatch hero because her ability is ice.
Yeah.
And we're the Great White North, and one of her most popular voice lines is her apologizing.
Yeah.
Right? So...
she is pretty close. Maybe that's the pseudo Canadian, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like they dropped the ball there. But anyway, let me walk you guys through how Doomfist got revealed, because I just think it's a pretty funny story. Right. So Overwatch, Blizzard, as they often do, they released a blog post that was like a fake news article. So this time it was an article about how the Helix some Helix prison. There's been a major breach in some Helix prison, and a bunch of prisoners have been released. One of the prisoners is Akande Ogundimu, better known as Doomfist. So when I saw the name, I was like, okay, he might be Nigerian. So anyway, I saw this, and I put it down. I'm like, okay, cool, we can talk about this on the podcast and kind of speculate on when Doomfist is going to come out. And literally, after I put the notes into my notepad, I go on YouTube and bam, we get an animated trailer and a developer walkthrough. The animated trailer is pretty cool. It's not CGI, so that was kind of disappointing.
I mean, I still think it was solidly animated, but
yeah.
But I can see what you mean, in which, like, the somber one was a big deal when it came out, and it was all CG. But yeah. Okay, I gotta ask you something about that trailer that made me confused and scared, right?
Yeah.
So
it's in the past. Tracer isn't dead.
Okay, Tracer isn't dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
because I was so confused because I know that her okay because I know because I watched that and I went, holy shit. and because I know that Tracer's power is like she's kind of like a ghost that like jumps in and out of time.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, if she breaks that, is that the only thing like keeping her like afloat in this like time space? I was like, I don't know how Tracer's, because it looked like she was basically getting erased from existence.
No. Okay, so that battle is from when Doomfist got defeated, right? Because I don't know if you remember, but in the original Overwatch cinematic, those two idiotic children were talking about how Winston defeated Doomfist. That is right. When Winston defeated Doomfist. So Doomfist bodied Genji. I love how Genji flies into the car, and I just keep hearing, I need healing.
I need healing. Where's Mercy, goddammit?
He bodies Genji, knocks him into the car, and he rips off Tracer's chrono accelerator, and then Winston goes all primal rage and defeats him. Mm-hmm. Then the end. So the trailer is in two parts. Then the end of the trailer is him breaking out of jail again, and then when Orisa got revealed, he had his whole thing at Numbani where he destroyed the airport, and then he broke into the little thing and he took his gauntlet back. So yeah, he's back. He's in full force. Apparently, he's one of the leaders of Talon. So we finally got a proper villain. This is our first proper villain because Sombra, since release, Ana is a good guy. Sombra is an anti-hero, or God knows what Sombra is.
I think Sombra is essentially, she's like a third party.
Yeah.
Like she's not exactly, I wouldn't consider her an anti-hero. I would just call she's on the sidelines of, this conflict. She doesn't really care who she's helping. She just wants to help herself.
Yeah. So we finally have like a proper villain, Doomfist. And then because apparently they said that we're getting season 2 of cinematics. I'm really hoping that season 2 of cinematics follows the Empire Strikes Back's method of, I don't want to say darker because darker has this connotation, but I've constantly complained that the villains, we don't have a lot of villains. We only have 2, and then they're not very good. You know, Reaper has gotten foiled in literally every single thing he's tried to do.
But I love him. I love him, and I love when he drops his guns, though.
Yeah, the only W they've had was when Widowmaker killed what's his name, right? Other than that, it's been L's in every single animated short. So I'm like, hopefully season 2 features a couple more W's for Talon, because you know the hero is only as good as the villain, right? And so far our villains haven't been very compelling. In terms of gameplay, because you know he is still a video game
character. This is true.
He's an offense hero, which some people might be disappointed in.
Well, I thought you were going to be super disappointed, because we've been talking like, we need a new tank. We need a new tank. Doomfist is going to be the tank we wanted. And then it's like, oh, sweet, it's another offense hero. Awesome. So
now, here's the thing, right? If Doomfist had come out before Orisa, I would have been disappointed, right?
Right.
But when Orisa got revealed and she was a tank, I was like, there's no way Doomfist is going to be a tank. That would give us 7 tanks in the game, right? And like true. The tanks are a lot less interchangeable than DPSs, right? Mm-hmm. So once Orisa was revealed as a tank, I was like, Doomfist is not going to be a tank. I was actually joking with this one guy. I was like, watch him be a healer. What runs around punching his teammates for like healing and stuff.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
He's an offense hero, but you know, he's our second offense hero, but he's really only our first DPS, because Sombra is not a DPS. You know, she's more of a utility, even kind of like a pseudo support type hero. Yeah. So he's really our first DPS. In terms of playstyle, so his primary fire, he has like a shotgun in his knuckles and he fires. It has 4 shots in it and it automatically reloads. So you can shoot, and then do your shenanigans, and then it'll be reloading while you're doing your shenanigans. But his key are his abilities. His entire playstyle revolves around his abilities. So he has 250 HP, same as Reaper. Mm-hmm. His trademark ability is his punch. You charge it up. It's pretty much his alternate fire. The longer you hold it down, the more damage it does, and the farther it goes. The key with it is that it does like a bit of damage when you hit the person, but then if you knock them into a wall, it does even more damage. So, for example, if you just do a normal punch with no charging, it does 50 damage up front and then 50 damage when they hit a wall. If you fully charge it, does 100 up front and 150 when they hit a wall. So he can one-shot everything that isn't a tank and Bastion, but no one cares about Bastion. Then his other ability is, I forget what the actual name is, but I'm just going to keep calling it Dragon Punch, because it's straight up a Dragon Punch. He does an uppercut and he launches the person into the air. I don't know I can't remember what damage values are, but it doesn't do a great deal of damage. His last ability is a leap. He jumps up and he lands and he slaps the ground. He does like a little wave, and it does damage. The longer he stays in the air, the more damage it does. I think it caps out about 100. Now, the interesting thing about him, first of all, he can combo all his abilities together. So people were making a lot of fighting game references with him. But like the thing is that his passive, right? Now this is his passive is called the best defense. ... And every single time he hits with one of his abilities, whether it's fully charged or anything, as long as it does damage. So if he hits Zarya while she has a bubble on it, his passive won't activate. But he gets 30 shields.
So that's how he can be so melee oriented. Yeah, okay.
Yes. And here's the thing, right? Is that he gets 30 shield no matter how much he's charged up his fist. But if he hits multiple people with one fist, he gets 30 shields for each person he hits.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so now the shields, they deteriorate over time, and he maxes out at 400. Apparently, if he uses ultimate, I'll get into his ultimate in a second, but apparently if he uses ultimate, you can go over 400, but people are thinking that's probably a bug, because right now, with his abilities, you max out at 400. His ultimate, he jumps into the air, he becomes completely invulnerable, by the way. I was watching a video, this dude got stuck with a pulse bomb, and he just popped his ultimate, flew into the air, and the pulse bomb just dropped on the floor. So he flies into the air, he stays in the air for a little while, and then like a big circular reticule appears. You can then aim it around, and wherever you select, a couple seconds after, so there's time for the people to react. A couple seconds after, there's a bit of a delay. He lands down, he does like a lot of damage. Unfortunately, none of the videos that I watched, like posted the numbers, but the impression I've gotten is that, so how it works is that there's two circles. There's an inner circle, and anything you catch in that inner circle that isn't a tank is going to die. Is the impression I've gotten.
Right.
And then the other circle, it does less damage. And then his ultimate also builds him shields, like I said. So like this one combo I saw, immediately the second I saw his ultimate, I was like, okay. I mean, besides the fact that Graviton Surge combos with literally everything, here's another ultimate that Graviton Surge combos with.
Oh, sweet Jesus, together, yeah.
And then he just bang, and he hits all of them. And here's the thing: is that Transcendence doesn't counter this because it's burst damage, right?
Right, yeah.
So yeah. All in all, I was watching a bunch of different people play him. He looks, I don't know, I was right about Anna and wrong about Sombra. So, and I didn't make a prediction with Orisa, but he looks really strong. Like just to say, now obviously it's early. He might not even launch in his current state because right now his fist move has a 4-second cooldown, and it can one shot 80% of the cast. So a one-shot ability on a 4-second cooldown might be too much. We'll see. He might not launch in this current state, but in his current state, he seems really strong. At the very least, his mobility is insane. If nothing else, people are going to be picking Doomfist when they absolutely need to make it to, when it's overtime and they need to make it to the point quickly. Because his mobility right now, I think only Genji is more mobile than him. He can charge up his, he does do, a charged fist goes a solid 20 meters. It used to go 30, they nerfed it already. It goes a full 20 meters, then he does his uppercut, and then he does his leap. And he can cover a lot of distance with those three abilities.
Right, so, yeah, that's true. Yeah, you could combo in and get across real fast.
Yeah, he looks really fun. He looks really crazy. We'll see, but I'm definitely going to be...
I honestly, when I'm looking at him, I think he's going to be very powerful, but I think he's going to be a little bit tricky to figure out, because you can't really play him as like a shooting kind of character. You have to play him as more of a fighting game character to a certain extent. But yeah, no, I think overall he looks really cool. It's kind of funny because the comparison I was making was that he reminds me a lot of Vi from League of Legends, who's also known for having these two giant like fists similar to Doomfist. Vi, V-I.
Oh.
And Vi also, Vi also has a gauntlet attack that she charges that shoots her forward that she can get good mobility, and she also has an uppercut as well, and she's also got other things like that.
Not Nigerian, though. I'll give you that.
No, yeah, not very different from Doomfist. I would love to see them have a fist fight. That would be awesome.
Art non, yeah. The person who he reminds me of actually is Genji. He's got a lot of mobility like Genji. He has more health than Genji, but he doesn't have deflect, and that's a big deal. He doesn't have wall run either. And he doesn't have a double jump, so he's less mobile than Genji, but he has more health. He does more damage, and they actually tested his fist because Genji can deflect melee attacks, right? He can't deflect Doomfist. So yeah. One last thing. Jeff actually made a quick post talking about like balance. So if I had to predict, I don't think he's coming out next week. Originally, I thought so. I thought he was going to hit the PTR next week, but I was wrong. He hit the PTR this week. I only want to get him next week. I don't want to get him the week after next because Anna, Sombra, and Orisa, unless I'm mistaken, I'm probably mistaken, we got a patch with them, a balance patch with them, and Jeff was talking about how there's some heroes that they're looking into. You're going to be excited to hear about one of the heroes they're looking into, Mercy. He said there's some heroes that they're looking into tweaking, so we might get a balance patch sometime next week, and then Doomfist comes with the balance patch in the week after. But yeah, I'm excited. This is literally the first Nigerian character I'll ever get to play in a video game.
Yeah, now I think about it.
We've been able to kill Nigerians because that's fine. But this will be the first one that I can play. And sure, he's a villain, he's not a hero, whatever. I don't care. I can play him, and that's all that matters. So
all that matters is that he's super cool. He's super cool.
He's cool. His design is cool. I'm hoping, I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high, but I'm hoping we get some cool, Nigerian references in some of his cosmetics and stuff. But even if we don't, I'm fine. This is what I could have asked for. Like I said, I'd given up from oh my god, like I'm sorry. You can tell I'm excited because like from day one of open beta, I looked on Numbani, I looked at the map on Numbani, I saw the second Doomfist, and I was like, he's Nigerian. Hopefully the third one is going to be Nigerian too. And here we are, like a year and a half later.
It's like we finally got it.
A year and a half later, and I finally got it, so I'm happy.
That's awesome. But honestly, Doomfist is here. Really excited. Just it's gonna be a while before I get to play him because we play the console version. But you know.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Just one last thing. Mm-hmm. Who do we look forward to now? You know, we have Sombra and we have Doomfist, and those are the two heroes that we've been hyping up since the game launched. So we have no heroes to look forward to anymore.
There was that post that was talking about a bunch of different types of heroes that might be real, might not be real, but we'll see.
I think it's fake because it got Doomfist abilities incorrect, and it said he was voiced by Terry Crews. Oh, thank God. But anyway,
I would like to see another defensive hero. I think as weird as that sounds, I would love to see another defensive hero that has cool because in that article there was something about a character that can create electrical walls that slow people down, and
that would be cool.
Yeah, that I think I would have a lot of fun with. But anyway, we got some more stuff to talk about. We got Assassin's Creed anime announced by the guys who produce or make the Castlevania show we were just talking about.
Yes. So we don't have any details other than that. We don't even know. If it's going to be on Netflix. Okay, we'll just read the statement for you. ID Shankar, who is the producer of the Castlevania series, he announced, "I'm happy to let you quote." Open quotes. I'm happy to let you guys know that I've selected my next project! Exclamation point. I played the first edition of Assassin's Creed the year I moved to Los Angeles to pursue my dream. At that moment, I knew absolutely no one in the industry and could never have imagined that one day Ubisoft would ask me to take the world of Assassin's Creed and create an original story set in it as an anime series. If anyone tells you not to follow your passion in life, you are wrong. So for all you people that want to become an attack helicopter, spraying napalm on people, there you go. You go for it.
God damn it! You knew that quote was coming. Because it was in the stream. It was like, I sexually identify as an attack helicopter.
But yeah, that's all we know. We don't even know if it's gonna be on Netflix. And also, he says it's an anime, but like we don't know how much of an anime it's going. Is it gonna be anime in the same sense that Avatar: The Last Airbender is an anime? Pretty much just animated in.
Yeah, that fight will continue until the day I die. Whether or not Avatar and Korra are animes technically, will it be anime influenced? Like style wise. Honestly, I think this looks cool. I'm just. It's unfortunate because, like the Assassin's Creed movie didn't really do that good. It wasn't really great. And it's like, I feel like I said, I haven't finished the Castlevania show, which I'm probably going to try and do. And I really hope that 2D animated shows of video games is the way to go. Like, if this is possibly the way forward as far as getting something decent out.
Yeah.
Because like Assassin's Creed has a lot of stuff that you can use to tell an interesting story. I just honestly, I kind of hope they stay away from all the future shit. Because as someone who has kept up to date with some of the future shit got really stupid and bad in the later games. It got really bad.
Oh yeah, I'm yet to be a single person that's excited to play the futuristic stuff. So yeah, it's actually funny that this is getting announced now because I've always thought, and I'm mad at myself for not saying this during last week's podcast, but I did think that Assassin's Creed would make a good TV series, if for no other reason than the fact that it can be a bit of an anthology, and every season they can go to a different area, and I thought that would. Sorry.
I just said yeah. Didn't really have much else to. Didn't have a whole lot else to add to that. I was just kind of like, yeah.
So yeah. I think that could be fun. That could be cool. Now, like we said, we don't know anything. We don't know too much about it yet. And I watched the first episode of Castlevania. There's potential there. It's decent and it's getting decent reviews. Everybody that has watched it has told me good things about it, and like I watched the first episode and it was fine. So it seems like it's in good hands. So that's three video game TV series now in development. You know, Assassin's Creed, The Witcher, and Castlevania, which got renewed for season 2, FYI.
Yeah.
Maybe, like and Castlevania, like I said, I've heard good things about it. So, maybe TV is where video games are supposed to go, because we obviously haven't done well in movies.
Yeah. I think particularly Netflix TV would be where these need to go, because I have to give Netflix credit in the sense where usually they don't really futz about with the production. They usually let them do what they want to go out and do for the most part. Because they and I have to appreciate them for that. Because, like HBO, if this was an HBO show, well, of course there's got to be, nudity and violence. We can't have an HBO show without that. So I'd be, I'm very excited to see this turn out, especially since Castlevania is getting pretty solid reviews.
Yeah, I'm excited. And once again, I really do hope that the Witcher series is animated. But you know what? Whatever. We'll see. Moving on to we touched on this 2 weeks ago, but we got even more details. The Skirmisher. I could not remember their names, so there you go. The Skirmisher has finally been officially revealed for XCOM 2.
Yeah.
So they are pretty badass, you know. They're ex-Advent soldiers that remove the chips from their head, and oh my god, like they're just looking at the dude's face and hearing about how painful it sounds, how painful the operation sounds. I'm like, these are like hardened like Viking warriors. Yeah, just looking at the dude's face, like that operation does not sound pleasant. But anyway, in terms of gameplay, so the main thing is that they have a grappling hook. That we did not touch on the podcast. So they have a grappling hook. It works very different from the standard grappling hook. Okay, so obviously you can pull yourself up to like high ground and stuff like that, but you can also pull enemies towards you. So it's kind of like Roadhog.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, you can also pull yourself towards enemies. So it's kind of like which Overwatch character does that?
Pulls himself towards enemies, or
it was someone.
I'm not sure. I can't think of it.
I guess not. Shit. I was not went with the Roadhog because I was building up, to use somebody else as an analogy for the second half.
But honestly, when I saw that, I was like, there's obviously a lot of strategy with that, because it's like, you can set your, like, you could climb to a high vantage point, and if there's a guy that's, if there's like a really powerful guy that's coming towards your other team or your weaker unit, you can grapple hook him up to the roof, and he's got no backup, and you can fight him 1v1.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear what the restrictions are on the grappling hook. I'm already just going to assume that you can't grapple hook a sectopod or a gatekeeper or what's the name of that robot, the one with the acidic grenades that dies and comes back?
The Andromeda.
Yeah, the Andromeda. I'm just going to assume that you cannot grapple hook any of those guys. However, in the trailer, they did show that one of the upgrades you can get for it is a stun, so you can fire it, and you probably use that. You probably can't grapple mechs. In fact, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that you can't grapple any mechs. So, the stun upgrade will probably be specifically for dealing with mechanized units. Then, because the other thing about him, and this I did touch on a little bit on the podcast, is that he also gains extra abilities. So they showed, they use a rifle, but like they described it as a rifle, but it looks more like a shotgun than anything, because they were like that. Yeah, you have to be close up. Then in terms of the abilities, so they showed a couple. One sec, I'm just pausing. There we go. So the first one is called Waylay, right?
Yeah.
When entering Overwatch, you can take as many shots as you have remaining actions, right?
Right.
Okay, then they showed another one, Interrupt, a powerful form of Overwatch. Instead of firing automatically, perform any single action. And then they showed, I think it's called Reflex. Yes, when fired upon, gain one extra action on the next turn. So yeah, like a big part of their thing, it looks like gaining extra actions and pretty much just being like the allied version of alien rulers, which I'm not gonna complain about. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like it definitely looks very powerful as far as like the new classes go. The fact that getting extra actions is a big deal, like in this game. Yeah. Like, because you get more options, you get more things that you can do, like flat out. Like if you can stack like actions back to back to back, you're gonna have an easy time blowing through the alien force.
Yeah, pretty much. Like of the two that they've shown us so far, these ones seem like by far. Now, I don't think you have to pick, but from what I hear, the fact that they don't like each other, I think getting each one you get makes it harder to get the next one. Mm-hmm. So if I'm given a choice between the skirmishers, the Reapers, and the Templars, unless they've already passed the Reapers as far as I'm concerned. So unless the Templars have some like serious juice. These dudes are looking insane, man. Like just extra actions. They look like one of the most overpowered things with Rangers is when you get what's it called? Implacable, right? Yeah. It's when you kill an enemy and you have Implacable, it lets you move. Not do another action, just move. And it's a really, really powerful ability, right?
Yeah.
You then want to give a hero the ability to just do another action. Oh man, let me not hype these guys up too much, and then I play the game and it turns out that they're garbage. But whew, I'm excited for the skirmishers.
Oh yeah, these look good. Honestly, I'm just excited for this expansion pack. I just want it to come out right now. I really do.
Yeah, same here. I'm thinking I'm probably going to wait because I want to start another playthrough. But I think I'm just gonna wait till.
Let me do my playthrough because I have a great idea. So. If you want the awesome, legit version of XCOM, you can watch Fawaz's amazing XCOM 2 playthrough in Iron Man mode. And then I'm going to be releasing what I call the Cowards playthrough. In which there are odd cuts in odd situations, and I don't know where they come from. And I'm very excited to debut that once this expansion comes out.
It's random jump cuts, and you're like, nope. No, I didn't reload already.
I don't know what you're talking about. You should really check out your YouTube player right now. There's probably some bug.
That is hilarious. But yeah, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for the expansion pack to come out, and then I'll do it. I want to say I'll do a blind playthrough, but the thought of doing a blind playthrough scares me shitless. So I'm not going to do a blind playthrough. I'll wait till I beat it once, and then I'll do another playthrough.
Yeah. Don't worry. I'll do the blind playthrough. I'll do the coward blind playthrough. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. But I'm with you. I just want this stuff to come out. I'm excited to try out the new alien rulers. I'm excited to try out these new guys. I'm excited. Like more XCOM.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing better than what you didn't expect, and I did not expect to be getting more XCOM. So.
Exactly. You know what I'm also really excited for? It's Monster Hunter gameplay walkthrough. We finally got some, footage of the Ancient Forest, and it's really cool. Some of the stuff that they showed. So they showed off like the health bar and whatnot. They explained the scout flies. So for the people who don't know, in the trailer, there's those like weird fireflies that are flying around. So basically, before, in the earlier Monster Hunter games, the maps were split into zones. So you have zone 1, 2, 3, or zone 1 to 11, right?
Okay.
And what you would do is that you'd have to search the zones, find the monster you're fighting, let's say a Rathalos. You'd paintball it, you'd throw a little ball that would paint it, and that way it would be marked on the map. And that way, if it flew to a different zone, let's say you were fighting in zone 11 and it flew to zone 7, you would be able to see that on your map accordingly. So you just run to zone 7.
Okay.
Now, because the maps are way bigger and are interlocked, and it's just one big map that you get dropped into, they had to change that around. So now they have scout flies, in which you can use the scout flies to help track certain monsters. If you find a print in the ground, you can use your scout flies to kind of scent the print, and it will follow and lead you to the monster. So that way you have a way of tracking it. Because I think the paintball system would not have worked in this. The thing that I also really like, what else did they show? Oh, they showed off a couple more interesting like environmental mechanics, and I think that's going to be really cool. Is that I have a feeling that there's going to be there's going to be a smaller list of maps that you're going to have access to, but there's going to be a lot of interesting mechanics with these maps. And one of the first things that they showed that I thought was super awesome was there are these bugs, right, that are just flying around. They've got these big like green sacks, and if you grab them, they're just a free mega potion. So, okay. And that's a big deal because, like, if you're running out low on potions and you need a quick heal fast, and there's a bug nearby, you can just run over and grab the bug and heal yourself up. So, I think it's a really interesting mechanic having some more environmental stuff. I mean, they showed off like how you can knock like some ground from like some ceiling ground onto the monster itself to deal damage. The one thing that they showed that I was glad that they allowed you to turn this on and off is that you can have damage numbers on or off.
Okay.
Because I don't mind putting damage numbers in the game. It's just, I've gotten so used to them not having damage numbers that I would probably just turn it off, you know?
Okay.
Just for some slight immersion, you know?
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think is a really, really... Well, there's a couple things. The first thing I'll say that I think is really, really great is the mantle mechanic, in which you have these different cloaks. If you remember from the E3 trailer, he was putting on these different types of cloaks.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I love the mantle mechanic is that it allows you to play a lot more differently in a couple different ways. One is that the ghillie mantle is essentially if you want to stealth up and set up like a trap or like a sneak attack on your monster... You don't have to worry about somebody walking into accidentally walking into the field of vision and just immediately proccing the fight, you know? So it allows you to be a lot more strategic with your friends. The other thing that I think is a really big deal is, I'm not sure what it's called, but there's a mantle in which it's shiny scales, right? And it's just a really shiny cloak. And what that does is that it allows you to draw aggro. And that, I think, is more important than anything, because I can tell you, as someone who's played a lot of Monster Hunter, there's a couple times in which you get comboed by the monster, and you're just praying that the monster attacks anyone else so that you can go and heal. You can go run away and heal, right?
Oh, there was no way to draw aggro?
There were ways to draw aggro, but for the most part, it was up to the monster to decide who he was fighting. There was, like, for example, there's an armor set that you can put on that just naturally draws aggro to you most of the time. And there's ones that actually they make it so that the monster notices you less. But in the earlier games, but this is just flat out a mechanic that allows everyone, as long as you bring that type of mantle, you can do that. And I think that's going to be awesome because it's going to allow you to save some people who are going to die. The other thing, and I think this is probably the crazy thing, is going back to the camp, I think is a big deal. Because when you go back into the camp, you sit down and you can change your gear. Because this is something that you could not do in the earlier Monster Hunter games. So let's say you started a quest and you brought the hammer, right? You brought your big-ass hammer and you were fighting with your team and the hammer's just not working out, you know? Either this is the first time you're fighting the monster and you think, the hammer's not really a good weapon to use against this monster, or it's just like the hammer's not really working for what you're trying to do. You can actually go back to the camp and switch to a weapon that you have in your storage. So that's a big deal because it allows weapon switching on the fly, essentially. Well, not necessarily on the fly, because it's not like you can hit a button and you switch to a different weapon. But what it allows you to do, it allows you that it's like, shit, we really need a gunner. Then somebody can just go back to camp and, you know, switch to a gunner. Yeah. So that's a really, really big deal. And I think it's going to be awesome that I won't be limited to one type of weapon during a mission. Because usually you pick the weapon, you go on the mission, and you're stuck with that weapon whether you like it or not. But overall, gameplay looks really, really good. Everything I wanted to see is being put in this game, so that I'm happy about. But I've been rambling for a bit. What did you think so far about this game?
No, it's fine. My throat needed to rest after all of my rambling. It looks cool. First of all, it's just a beautiful looking game. Do you enter every map like flying in on a pterodactyl?
Yep.
Is that how you enter every
Well, okay, this is not technically this is not how Monster Hunter usually works. um, that's meant to facilitate the drop in, drop out kind of multiplayer that this game's gonna have, which is also.
Oh my god! So if I drop into your multiplayer, I'm gonna drop in on a pterodactyl.
Yes, you are, which is radical.
Oh my god, that is pretty. That's pretty amazing.
See, I don't know. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. I don't know if you can control where you spawn, but if you can, it would be awesome. It's like, oh no, we're down two guys. Flaws, we need your help, and you jump in on your pterodactyl. You fly in, drop off the pterodactyl, and you a jumping attack. And just smash its head in, because that would be rad.
That would be pretty badass. But yeah, like I don't have a lot of experience with Monster Hunter, so it's like I'm just watching it for like okay, the graphics look cool. It's the battle looks intense, and I imagine it's. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Is there like a class system?
No. How it works, well, this is the thing, I think they're steering away from this, but how it used to work is that there were Blade Masters and then there were Gunners.
Okay.
So the Blade Masters got access to all the melee weapons, right?
Yeah.
So basically it was like, okay, you get access to the hammer, the katana, the sword and shield, all the melee weapons, the physical melee weapons. And then the Gunners got all the ranged weapons, so like the bows, the heavy bow gun and the small bow gun. And the biggest difference between the two is that the Blade Masters had really, really strong armor. Like, physical defense-wise, their armor was crazy. Well, just stronger because you're going to get hit more often, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the Gunners, their armor had better resistances to elements, whether it be fire, lightning, dragon, or whatever. But the downside is that the armor defense values overall were a lot lower. Because you're ranged, you're not supposed to get hit.
Yeah.
So basically that was the difference between the two. But I think they're actually getting rid of that, and now you can just pretty much pick any. You can just pretty much pick any weapon you want, regardless of armor. So, and I actually do really like that because I always felt it was really annoying the fact that if you wanted to play a Gunner, you would have to make a separate armor set for that playstyle, which was always a bummer. And so, how it's like, man, I really like this Raytheon armor that I made, but it's Blade Master only, and now I got to make a separate Raytheon armor for the Gunner. That always sucked. So that's basically the difference. So there's not really classes, but that's how it used to be.
Okay. And do the fights usually last this long? Because it was like a 10-minute fight between him and the.
Oh yeah. Thing. Oh yeah. Some fights, depending on it depends, because like if you upgrade your gear if you upgrade your gear by a lot, a fight can sometimes only last about 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay.
But they are meant to last long. Like some of them, if you're let's say if you're underprepared and you've got like relatively weak weapons, some fights can last up to 20 to 30 minutes.
Oh my god.
But it feels epic in the sense where it's like, it feels like you're actually hunting something, because that's actually how hunts usually are. They're not like you drop in and you just bam, they're meant to be boss fights essentially.
Yeah, I mean, like that. I mean, it lasting that long is fine, as long as it's not like you're chipping away at it for like 30 minutes. But it feels like a progression. As long as it doesn't feel like a grind.
Yeah. Well, what they do is that to give you some feedback while you're fighting is that in the other games it's like if you deal enough damage to a specific part of the monster, it will break. And sometimes, its tail. Like the tail one is a good example, but there are other cool, more mechanical ones in which, when you break it, it will lose an ability. So, for example, there was a creature called the Gypsaros, that looked like a giant turkey, and one of its abilities is that it could flashbang the entire area by clicking its beak, right?
Uh-huh.
And the cool thing is that if you do enough damage to its head, you can break its beak, and it won't be able to do that move anymore.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that a lot.
The only other thing that changes, I think that changes the fight slightly, and this is why the fights usually near the end are slightly more intense, is that there's usually two states a monster can be in. There's aggressive, and then there's rage. So basically, the aggressive is a standard kind of like, mode of where it's trying to fight you back, it's trying to kill you, it's trying to defend itself, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But if you actively start dealing a lot of damage, you cut off its tail or you break a body part, it will start to get raged, and it will move faster, it will usually do more damage, and it will probably start doing moves that it doesn't usually do in its earlier state. So that's usually how the fight changes, is the monster will switch from these two states from time to time. And when the monster's really low health, it usually just stays in the rage state.
Okay. So that's pretty. All in all, it looks pretty cool. Shit. There's something I wanted to ask and I keep forgetting. Oh yeah. So there's the mounting system. It looked very reminiscent of Shadow of the Colossus. Because like, how does that work? Do they like try to shake you off?
Yeah, they do try and shake you off. I honestly don't know how the mounting system's going to work in this game, because in the older ones, it was you do a bunch of melee attacks and then eventually, jump attacks on the creature, right? Specifically, you'd want to hit the back. And then eventually, if you do this enough times, then you would be thrown into a mounting mini game, essentially. And basically, it was similar to like, the monster would fight back, and you would have to hold down your stamina to stop you from getting thrown off. And then the monster would calm down, and at that point you would just stab it with your hunting knife. Just stab. And then if you dealt enough damage with your hunting knife, it would knock the monster prone. And for like a good solid 10 seconds. So then your entire team would essentially have 10 seconds of free reign to just hit this guy. But in this, it seems a little bit different, because it seems like you can actually use your melee weapon while you're mounted, which is completely new to me. So I honestly don't know how mounting's going to work in this game.
Well, I appreciate the honest answer. But okay, yeah, all in all, it looks pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm definitely, because, right now my 2018 is pretty barren. I'm going to pick up Dragon Ball FighterZ, unless they pull a Capcom and completely shit the bed. I'm definitely going to be picking that game up. But other than that, I'm picking up Cyberpunk 2077 because it's going to launch in 2018. You heard it here first.
All right, Fawaz, you keep dreaming.
But yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything, especially early next year. Like I said, Dragon Ball FighterZ is quote-unquote early next year, but realistically, it's probably May. It's probably going to come out in May, maybe June. So if this launches in February or March, that's what I was trying to think.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's going to probably be March. That's my guess, anyway.
Yeah, if it comes out in March, then something I can pick up and pick up a little earlier. And fun stuff looks pretty cool, and I'm excited. Now, in another life, I would have been. Oh, sorry. Is there something else you wanted to?
No, Hearthstone. No, we can go to Hearthstone.
Okay, in another life, I would have been excited about this next thing that we're talking about. So Hearthstone, finally, they revealed their new expansion. So first of all, funny story. I didn't realize this at the time, but watching this trailer made me realize that I actually hate Ben Brode.
Who?
Ben Brode, the lead designer at Team Red or Red Team or whatever the Hearthstone team is called.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I actually hate him.
Why do you hate him? What's the deal? What's the deal with him?
Okay, so first of all, he always has this shit-eating grin on his face, right?
Right.
And he has this annoying laugh. The laugh used to be funny, but then it became less and less funny the more and more RNG they added to the game. But I think the biggest issue is that I blame him for everything wrong with Hearthstone, which is probably not fair. He might be the lead developer, but he doesn't make all the decisions. But anyway, whenever something bad happens to me, whenever I got Yogg Sharon or something like that, I could just hear his laughter in the background. And now he has a very, very, if you look up Ben Brode, the first thing that probably come up is a video of him laughing. He has a very, very hearty laugh.
Right.
And yeah, I just used to hear that laughter every single time, like a Ragnaros hit me in the face, despite the fact that I had 7 creatures on the board. So anyway, but I digress.
Yeah. There. My phone is ringing, for those who want to know. And the worst part is that every time I try and just rip the batteries out, I can't. The thing gets stuck, and because I have no nails. Oh, the phone's not. It's all good. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. Okay, so moving on. So I digress. The new expansion is called Knights of the Frozen Throne. A pretty cool trailer. I remember I mentioned that I was disappointed in the trailer for Journey to Ungoro. This trailer was really cool. So first of all, you're visiting Northrend, which is the home of the Lich King. So the trailer borrows very heavily, well, not very heavily, it borrows the theme music from the Rise of the Lich King trailer, which is one of Blizzard's best trailers. So, no.
Good on them to reuse that.
Good on them for that. What I really like about the trailer is how what's her name again? How Jaina Proudmoore, how she slowly devolves as the trailer. Have you seen the trailer?
Yeah, I have. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, she's slowly, because when it starts, she's like Jaina, and she's talking about how, like there's a certain sacrifice that you have to make for power, and blah blah blah. But then as the trailer keeps going on, the music starts to become more sinister, and she starts to devolve, and by the end, her voice is barely human anymore, and she's talking about how only weak people don't seek out power and stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. I thought all in all it was a pretty cool trailer. The funny thing is that Hearthstone is a very, very light-hearted video game, but like Northrend is one of the darkest areas in like Warcraft. So I'm interested to see how they handle that. The key feature that they're introducing right now is, instead of giving us Death Knights like we've been asking for since open beta, they're adding what's referred to as hero cards. So pretty much the equivalent of planeswalkers in Hearthstone.
In Magic, yeah.
Yeah. What that's going to do is that every single class is going to get a hero card that's pretty much a Death Knight version of their original hero. So they only showed one. It was Rexxar, and how it works is the images that I have, for some reason the cards aren't in English. But anyway, so Rexxar he's a 6. It's a hero card, so it's an actual card that you play. But when you play him, he plays like Jiraxxus, right? So he pays 6 mana, and then his battle cry is that he deals 2 damage to every creature on the board. And then he gives you 5 armor in addition to however much health you had at the time. Then his hero ability is also interesting. So it costs you 2, like you get a new hero ability, it costs you 2 mana. So with him, he discovers 2 beasts.
Right.
So he discovers one set of beasts, like 3 beasts, he picks one. Then he discovers another set of beasts, 3 beasts, he picks that one. And then he gets a beast. And that beast is going to have the combined price of those 2 cards, the combined stats of those 2 cards, and the combined abilities of those 2 cards. So it's an interesting ability. I don't know. It seems a little too RNG-ish for me, but I mean, it's Hearthstone.
It's Hearthstone at this point, yeah.
Then they're also adding this is pretty funny. So they're adding lifelink to the game, and that caught me off guard, because when I saw the announcement, I was like, I could have sworn there was always lifelink in the game, and
then I had to be like, no, there isn't.
Then I cleared it up, and I was like, wow, it took them 5 years to add lifelink, so we can expect Trample in 2020. But yeah, all in all, it's a pretty interesting mechanic. Now, me personally, I just prefer the new class. Like, give us a goddamn Death Knight. But then I also don't play this game, so my opinion is moot. So yeah, this expansion is gonna have a lot of death rattles. God, I hate this guy's face. Sorry, the video was just playing, and I was like looking at the text of the card. It kept cutting to his face, and I just found myself getting angry. So anyway, I had to close it down. It's gonna be a lot of death rattles, as you probably imagine. It's like
yeah, there's some interesting mechanics in this. God, this guy's face. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, no, they're adding lifesteal. It's actually quite interesting. will continue to be our shit show. That's what it is. It always will be.
My God. Like, can you believe this actually was my game of the year a little while back.
Yeah, how far the mighty have fallen. Although you know what I will say though, as someone who has played, because my friend, he's into Magic, right? So he actually has the digital Magic game, the Planeswalker one, I think, or whatever. And seeing how that is set up, I'm like, oh man, Hearthstone is so much simpler.
Yeah.
Because trying to play the digital version of Magic is exceedingly difficult.
I'll give Hearthstone that. Like I said, playing Gwent, even just from playing Gwent, I give Hearthstone credit because of the user experience and the UI and how easy it is to just pick up and play. That's one thing that Blizzard really know. They really just know how to just make a game that's really easy to just pick up and play, and it doesn't require too much of a time investment and stuff.
Yeah.
So I give them credit for that. And at the end of the day, Hearthstone, it has like 70 million players, so they're obviously doing something right.
Right.
And yeah, just going back to my experience with Magic and just looking at how many, as imbalanced as some of the elements of Hearthstone are, they'll never be as broken as a lot of the elements in Magic. Like Magic just has some cards that I'm like, what were you thinking? No, you weren't. That's what you were thinking. Exactly. Oh my God, I can't remember what Planeswalker it was, but my friend was telling me about this one Planeswalker who had an ability that you just couldn't lose the game.
Yeah, well, there's the Planeswalker that I was playing against, because I went to a pre-release recently. It's Nicobolus. You use his ability, your opponent draws cards until it hits a non-land card. And you get to essentially grab that card and put it on the field under your control. And any other cards, so if you drew lands, essentially, they just immediately get exiled. So not only are you fucking your opponent over land-wise, you're also fucking them over card-wise.
Yeah. Is this some like Baneslayer Angel?
Yeah. The one that I played with last night that I thought was pretty broken was it's an enchantment. You curse your opponent, and at the beginning of their turn, they either lose 3 life, or they have to discard a card from their hand or sacrifice a creature. It's pretty strong.
But anyway, so the expansion is coming in August, so you're not going to have to wait too long to get your hands on it. It's coming in August. There's gonna be 100 and something cards. I don't know. They're also adding free challenges. They're adding free challenges, which I think are going to work like they're gonna work like the missions from the adventure mode thingama who's it. So that's gonna be pretty cool. All in all, like it's a nice bit of content. So hats off for them. Like who still enjoy playing Hearthstone. This should be really fun, and y'all look forward to that August.
Look forward to it August. But we actually have our question of the day, which is very card game related, so this will be fun. So J Streets, shout outs to J Streets. He asks us, what is our favorite MTG archetype and card? Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
You go first.
Archetype. So this is where I'm not too sure. So when he says archetype, is he talking like creature type or just
like the way the type of deck,
type of deck. Okay, well, honestly, I really like just I like the mass decks. I like the aggro decks, I'm all about that aggro. I love building a bunch of creatures and having a bunch of destroy cards in my hand to just wipe the board and have my board just keep growing and growing. Like right now I'm rocking a really awesome zombie deck, which is pretty cool. The one thing I will say, the type of deck that I love, just because of how purely stupid it is that I love mill. I love mill. And for those who don't know what mill is essentially, there's cards in the game where it's like you play it and your opponent has to take the top cards of their library and put it into the graveyard. So for example, there's a card called Archive Trap. And, it's mill your opponent for 13 cards. So they take the top 13 cards of their library and they put it straight into the graveyard, right?
Yeah.
And the fun thing is that if you mill them, essentially, in which their entire deck is in their graveyard, when they go to their turn and they attempt to draw, if they can't draw a card, they lose the game.
Yeah.
So essentially, the whole goal is to mill them to death, so that when they draw that card and they can't, they lose the game. And there's other cards that really complement this called Traumatize. Traumatize is basically, it's a 5-drop, half their deck in the graveyard.
Yes.
Yeah. So I love doing that because it's so incredibly stupid, but it's so incredibly fun. And then my favorite card, and Fawaz is going to get mad at me, is Platinum Angel.
Oh my god, I knew it. And you absolute scumbag.
The reason why I like Platinum Angel, I know it's not even that good of a card, but it really isn't. But honestly, I have so much nostalgia for that card, because that was the card where I was like, one day I'll get this card. It's the rarest, most powerfulest of cards. Me at my young age of not understanding how cards actually work. And I just that game says I can't lose. It's got to be the best card, right? So when I finally got that card, I was so incredibly happy. My friend just gave it to me, which was really nice of him. But that's my favorite card for more purely for nostalgia reasons than actual effective use. Plus, I think the idea of a Platinum Angel is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But that's my answer. What about you, Fawaz?
Okay, so my favorite archetype is late game control, like easy. Whether it's dragons, like in the original Duels of the Planeswalker, I used to play dragons, so it was red, green, and black dragon deck. Early game you're just searching for mana and removing their creatures, and then late game you're playing all sorts of brutal dragons to deal with your opponent. Or there was that. Then there was the late game black deck, all black deck. Similar structure. You had like these skeletons that just had regeneration, so they kept blocking damage while you were building up your lands, and then you built up your lands, and you got oh my god, there was some powerful creatures, and I forget what it was. Just one demon. It was like it had lifelink. It was a 7 strength. It had lifelink, and then you could pay 7 mana and draw 7 cards. You could play 7 health and draw 7 cards. I forget what his name was though.
I know what card you're talking about, but I forget the name too. Sorry.
Yeah. But no, my favorite card is Conflux. So it's like when it's all said and done, I think my favorite late game control deck was the 5 mana control deck in the last Duels of the Planeswalkers that I played. I think that was 2012. It was a 5 mana control deck, really slow. But it was just once it got rolling, it was really strong. And Conflux was just an amazing card. So it was an 8 mana card. 3 mana was whatever color you wanted, but then 5 of the mana had to be all 5 different mana. So white, blue, blah 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 blah. And then it was like search your library for a white card, a blue card, a black card, a red card, and a green card. Reveal those cards, then shuffle them in, then put them in your hand. Then shuffle your library. So you could just choose whatever cards you wanted, because your deck, most of the cards in your deck were multicolor, right? Yeah. So you could just take whatever card you wanted. You could take what's that stupid card called? Progenitus, which was a 10 mana, 10/10 with protection from everything.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I actually didn't run him. I didn't like him. He was just kind of boring. But yeah. I loved me some late game. I love his artwork though. If you have a chance, just look up. There's 2 artworks. There's one where there's one. If you see the 2, you'll probably already tell which one I like.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was pretty cool. Protection from everything, and then if he was put into the graveyard from anywhere, reveal Progenitus and shuffle it into its owner's library instead. I mean, honestly, it's funny because competitively, most of these cards I'm talking about aren't very good, because from what I hear, competitive Magic doesn't last past turn 4, turn 5, turn 6. It ends pretty damn early.
It's all about getting your cards out quickly. I play against the guy I hang out with now. He's very competitive, and usually it's all right, I've got 6 turns to fix the problem, or I've got. So yeah, it does turn into that. But honestly, I feel like that's the one thing that always bothers me a little bit about Magic, is that some of the cards I just think I want to play them just for funsies are usually really cost a lot.
Yeah.
Like Iona. Yeah. Iona was another one. It was just this 6/6 flying angel. No, it wasn't a 6/6. It was an 8/8. It was a 9-cost angel. It was an 8/8 flyer, and when you enter the battlefield, you choose a color, and your opponent can't play that color for the rest of the game. So if you're playing against a mono-colored deck, they were absolutely fucked. So yeah, I remember that. But yeah, no,
sorry.
No, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, yeah, that's what this is why I just can't play Magic competitively, because the kinds of decks that I like to play, they're just not competitively viable in Magic. You know, the slow ramp up decks that make it to late game and play gigantic creatures. Most big creatures aren't played at all in competitive Magic. It's just not competitively viable. But I'm actually just looking at this Progenitus artwork, and this is some really cool artwork. So I'll try to describe it. It's like because Progenitus is a gigantic Hydra, right? It's got like 10 different heads,
right.
And the artwork it's like it's a big landscape. So you see like the land and trees and stuff. Then there's clouds in the background, and then behind the clouds you see the silhouette of like 6 Hydra heads, and it's just so cool. Actually, shout outs to Magic. If nothing else, they have some really cool artwork.
They've got some
pretty
cool artwork.
But yeah, because it just gives you a good understanding of how gigantic
that thing is.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Awesome question, J Street, and you picked the right podcast to ask us these questions.
Yeah, you really picked the right one. And so that's pretty good. I'm trying, all right? I'm a busy guy. I'm very popular. Everyone wants a piece of me, all right? I get these calls, man. This is how I live my life. But if you got a question for us, don't forget to leave it in the comment section, and we'll make sure to answer it in the next podcast. And as always, this is your host, Ryan Liberty, and...
We'll see
you guys next time. Take care.